Good afternoon and evening, everyone. Welcome to the next installment of Eunuch Corner Club Live. This is the 84th official episode of this conversation series. I will be joined today by a friend of mine who is a talented creator, a writer, an author. But before we do that, I would like to let you know that the I will not be taking paid chats and things during the stream. We will be putting those off till the end of the stream because it's just Chris and I today talking, and we're not going to be interrupted during our conversation. So in about an hour from now, we will be taking your paid chats and seeing what you guys have to say, if anything, to Chris and the things that we discuss today. So I would like to remind you, you can send in rants on Rumble, hyper chats on Odyssey. I would prefer to get paid messages over on Entropy. That is my preferred way to receive paid chats and donations. Also, if you want to send in financial gifts with very little info, you can leave a short message with a PayPal or a Cash App donation. And of course, like always, I would deeply appreciate your monthly subscription over on Subscribestar. So without further ado, let's go ahead and bring on Christopher. Christopher Evrard, welcome back. How are you doing, my friend?
Howdy, friend. How's going in the Appalachian Mountain today?
It's going good here in the mountains of East Tennessee today, friend. Thank you for asking. It's going good.
I'm practicing my hillbilly accent.
Well, you got a long way to go, but I appreciate the effort.
I'm doing my best.
It's pretty good. It's pretty. I'm sure that you're better at it than
most people. You prefer my very good French.
I'm sure you're better at the hillbilly than most people in Belgium. So, anyway, Chris is joining me today. As you could have guessed from the thumbnail, we are going to be talking about what he has learned from his journey being a writer and a creator. And now that he has had many years of experience and he's a wiser, older man, he's going to be sharing with us some things, and also something that he and I agree on, which is a passion and an importance on positive cultural generation. So before we get started here today, Chris, do you want to take a few minutes? I'm sure that some people listening to this won't know who you are. Go ahead and take a few minutes and tell us who you are and why you are a known personality.
I don't know if I'm a known personality, but yes, it's been a few years now since I started to publish my books. And well, first of all, yes, nice to meet you, gentle folks. So I'm Christopher, and I'm from Belgium, and I'm a fantasy writer, a self-published one, which is a tad different than if you are in a publishing house, like, a regular structure. And yes, I struggle a lot to try to make myself a bit more stable financially and more well-known to the world, basically. And yes, we have a common, like, I'm not sure if it's a goal, but like an ideal, you and I, is of the importance of culture, and that we have, like, it is our duty as a citizen of the civilized world to protect it. And yes, culture is in danger.
I do agree that culture has been under attack for quite some time, especially in the realm of fiction, where we see all of the ugly, bad, stupid things being put into comic books and video games and movies today. It's definitely an attack on the things that make fiction valuable and good for us. So we definitely.
I think maybe I'm a bit quick to jump on the topic, but I think it's not a coincidence that one of the first victims of the attack on culture, like worldwide, was the American hero, like Marvel, DC, Superman, Batman, etc., etc.
Yeah, we can go ahead and jump right into it. So yeah, let's go ahead and start talking about it. Feel free to elaborate on that idea, and we'll just jump right into it.
Well, if you are in a dire situation, who's more qualified to save you than Superman?
Yeah.
Like, seriously. Well, it is the more like classic, clear-cut, cliche hero ever made. Superman, like fast, heat vision, indestructible, he can fly. His color code is red and blue and a bit of white. He's the cliche superhero. Like
And also he's a good man who cares about doing what's right.
yeah, and he
And
was raised
Mhm.
in a very I think it's the correct law of Superman. He was like a son of a farmer or something, like
Mhm.
in a farm or ranch or something like that. You know, like the countryside of America.
Indeed, indeed. So the thing that I think is valuable about fiction is going back hundreds or even thousands of years, the concept of mythology, is critically important to the development of our many peoples of the Western fabric, all of the different countries of Europe, which of course led to the Anglosphere, which of course led to the Americas. These mythological figures, they mean something because it's what carries down through generations the beliefs and ideals and fantasy and emotions that drive men to greatness and to do what is not just right, but what is bold, what is memorable, what is impressive. And these stories are what encapsulate our ideals and our values. And of course, many of our myths have become enshrined in religions, primarily the different kinds of Christian religion. But there are still a lot of things outside of that milieu that are important to us, like the Nordic god mythology, the ancient Greeks and Roman gods, and the mythologies before them. Even we still see those having critical importance that influences literature and fiction today.
Yes. Yes, the honestly they are irreplaceable. I think I said it correctly.
Yes,
Uh,
irreplaceable. Yeah, you nailed it. Yeah.
Yeah, because like if you, I'm not 100% sure of what I'm saying. So if I'm wrong, chat, please correct me. But I think the first ever work of fiction was the Ulysses Odyssey by Homer. You know, the Greek
So.
story. Yeah. So it was an European thing to do, to
Mhm.
share myth and stories of hero and conquest and adventure and monster and hardship and sacrifice and conquering land and survival and blah blah blah. So and the story of Ulysses was a very basic one because he was just getting back from the war of Troy, you know, the
Mhm.
wall of Troy and stuff. He was just getting back to his family. Like, I finished work. Honey, I might be late.
Yeah,
I,
honey, I'm home. Oh wait, no, I have to go on a 50-year journey.
yeah, I have a problem with my boat.
Yeah. So,
So yeah,
yeah.
and even when he's back home again, correct me if I'm wrong, but there was even problem. Like he came back to his land and he had to do a thing or two with his wife because I think she thought he was dead and she was courtship for so many years, and I think she took a man with her because she everyone say, oh, your husband is dead, please marry once more, blah blah blah. And so yeah, the story is like basic bitch story of a man getting back home. Like it's if you narrow it down, yeah, it's a very simple story, but it's so, you know, there is in this particular story there is even saying that is still relevant and used today. For example, the expression going from Charybdis to Scylla. I don't know
Mhm.
if you know this expression.
Yeah, I know. I'm familiar with Charybdis to
Yeah.
Scylla. Yes.
So yeah, even in French we still use this expression. It's going from bad to worse. Like you have to choose a bad
Mhm.
thing or the bad thing.
Yeah.
Um, and
There's an American expression that means the same thing: is stuck between a rock and a hard place. Have
yeah,
you heard
yeah,
that
I know.
before? Yeah.
Yeah. I think there is also like between the hammer and the anvil, something like that.
Uh, maybe. I mean, it's like there's a lot of euphemisms for that, like not euphemisms. Uh, what's the word for that? Idioms. Idiom, like lesser of two evils, rock in a hard place, that kind of thing.
Yeah, just a question from Kingdom of Inland in the chat. Having firearms in fantasy, it depends on how's the setting, how is it explained, and how the weapon are actually used. Like, is it an M16 or is it like a magical stick that shoot fire beam? You know, stuff like that. So it depends, but it's not impossible. But you have to do it intelligently.
All right. So, when it comes to you and I agreeing on this stuff, I I want to like I know what led me to believe this kind of thing, but tell me from your perspective, being a writer and being engaged with fantasy fiction and science fiction for most of your life, if not all of your life, tell me what led you to believe that culture is so important and why it's a necessary lifeblood for our people and our civilization.
Well, it's a very egotistical answer, but because it saved my life, basically. And when I had actual, when I became actually conscious of that fact,
Hmm.
like, oh, if I didn't kill myself, it's because I was busy and loving and searching, for example, the Dragon Ball or I don't know, Warhammer or Ninja Turtle, whatever. Um, it's yeah, and when I became conscious about that, I became a bit more engaged with the community of the people who like this kind of stuff. And I saw that I wasn't alone. And then it was like, I don't know, like an evidence or like a basic state of life that fiction nourish all of us. I also had the same experience and observation with the music festival. I don't know if you went to like actual big music festival. I'm not saying about a concert of like 2 or 3
Only one
hours.
when I was young. I think I was
Yeah.
18 or 19. I don't like festivals because I don't like dirty hippies and druggies. And and few
Yeah.
times the few times I went to a concert and the one time I went to a big outdoor music festival, it wasn't the kind of people I liked being around. It
Yeah.
was people that liked drinking too much and doing a lot of drugs and just being gross and dirty, and I just didn't have a good time.
Yeah, I understand, but I know that it's a very big thing and a common thing in Europe, but I don't think that it's the same in the US. So basically, when I say festival, it's like maybe I can you can show or I can show. I don't know if you want me to show this
I mean,
a
sure,
thing.
if there's something you want to share, yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
We can
yeah.
put it on
So
screen.
there will be no sound, but
Okay.
I will show a thing. Let me show. So it's a trailer for a music festival within Germany,
Hmm.
and yeah, you can show the screen share. Yes, so it's a metal festival, one of the many festival. Like from starting to May to maybe early September,
Okay.
every weekend there is a big festival of like 100,000 people somewhere. Uh, this is the 2008 trailer for a metal festival in Germany, as I said. And so it's like multiple days, sometimes 4 or 5 days of music, of fun, of camaraderie, passion, and everything. And it's everything you can you can expect from such crowd. And it's very it's like big boys having fun. So it's
Yeah.
not like dirty hippie as you say. The crowd is very different. It's
Well,
very
I didn't necessarily mean hippies. The
yeah, yeah,
outdoor
I
music
know.
festival, the only one I ever went to, it was not huge. I think it was only
Yeah.
about 1,000 people. It was small, and it
Yeah,
happened
so
in southern.
it's
It was either East Tennessee or Southern Virginia back in the 90s,
yeah.
and it for popular music at the time, so like grunge rock, metal, that kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
And the people there, I don't think they were bad people. They looked a lot like these guys in
Okay.
this video you're showing now, but there was just everybody was drinking too much. Everybody was doing lots of drugs.
Yeah,
Everybody.
it's rock and roll. What do you expect?
Well, that's not for me. I'm not a rock and roller.
You can stop the screen share so
Oh, sure,
people can gather what I mean. And
sure.
if you go to that kind of gathering, it's not the same as a concert of maybe one evening or like 3 or 5 hours
Hmm.
to see I don't know Metallica or whatever band. You have moment that you can actually bond with friends. Like
Oh, I know. Yeah,
I
I know
remember,
what you mean. The festival that
yeah,
I went to was a full weekend event. People were there for
yeah.
like 3 days. Yeah.
And so I've talked to some people who told me stories like that. Oh, this band saved my life because I read the lyrics, I studied the composition of the music, blah blah blah. And yeah, culture, art, whatever kind it is, if it's actually not, ill faith put together piece of culture, if you catch my drift,
I do.
it actually connect people with each other.
Yeah, yeah, I
And
agree.
to get back to your first question, this is one of the few moments I understood that yeah, culture is sacred.
Yeah.
You have to protect it. And when you have, I know that it's maybe not your shtick, but when you see one of your favorite band in a festival with, I don't know, 10,000 people singing along the lyrics of the song, it's an experience. Oh man, it's and yeah, Illuminatus, the ticket today are not the same as it was back in the day. But like the 2008, I think I went to this one. It was like 100 euros or something for the 3 days. Today is you multiply by 3 or 4. It's the price is crazy. Like you
Wow.
you can have a big vacation to a spa or something for multiple days or a week, or you can go play in the dirt with rock and roll music for 2 days. But the point is, to what I'm getting is,
Uh-huh.
this is one of the key moments that I realized, yeah, this is important to not just me, to many, many people.
Hmm.
Because I had stories like, oh, I was about to kill myself, and a friend of mine offered me, I don't know, the last Batman game, Arkham Asylum. This is one of the very good Batman game,
Oh yeah.
and I dive in for one entire week straight, barely sleeping, and I finished the game, crying, being so touched by the story, and
Okay.
stories like this of actual humanity.
Yeah, and I think that one of the things that we lack, and this is not necessarily on purpose by evil people, but just the way that civics and technology has changed the way humans associate in like the last 50 to 80 years. We don't have natural community bonds that form like we did in the before time.
Yeah,
Because in the before time, you had to work the field, you had to do labor, you had to build things, you had to be connected to the people around you for food and for shelter and for romance and for childbearing and for education. And because of how institutionalized and advanced with technology everything's become, we don't really naturally have to bond together to do that for survival anymore. So
yeah,
we have this need, this hunger to be connected to other people at a community level. And I think
yeah,
that's why that we have such strong bonds that form over video games and Dungeons and Dragons and Magic the Gathering and rock and roll music and heavy metal and that kind of
yeah,
thing, is because we all yearn for that, to be a part of a community that knows each other and depends on each other. I think that hunger is in all of us,
yes.
and the cancerous modernity that we're all born into, this evil technocratic hellscape, it doesn't provide us that.
Yeah, and especially as I didn't plan to talk about music and metal and stuff, but you speak about the music band. Today, with electronic music, AI, blah blah blah, you don't even actually need to go find and meet people and let's put together a band and make music and go to the garage and jam for
Hmm.
2 hours, and you don't have the, like, this is what you've been through in life, this is the emotion you want to convey in your music. I can do drums, I can do bass, I can do lyrics. Let's put something together, you and I.
Hmm.
It's the thing that I'm thinking while speaking, so just 1 second, because I have an
Sure.
idea that the thing that is so precious today with culture, that it's actually be being destroyed by the left and the woke and stuff. And Arch made a video about it. Is they every single day they put an idol down. Every single day they desecrate, like, a
Artwork and
giant.
statues and things. Yeah.
Yes,
Hmm.
yes. For example, with the Lord of the Rings by Amazon, they destroyed, I think, the second age of the history of the Lord of the Rings.
Hmm.
So the comeback of Sauron, Numenor, blah blah blah. They destroyed the icon of Batman with the last Justice League game. They destroyed what did they destroy back in the day or so? Scooby-Doo with Velma.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. Yeah, I heard about that.
So they put down every single icon we have, and they destroyed the link we have together.
Yes.
Like the kids today, what do they have to bond together? What common thing they can talk with each other? I know it's a bit segue, but if you don't have the same reference or the same willingness to share together your passion and your love, first you have to love something, and then you have to find someone who also like the thing. But if you have no interesting piece of culture, we don't have the same history, the same reference.
Yeah,
like,
and
I spoke about the Ulysses story. It's like more than 2,000 years old, and we still talk about that.
Yeah, they haven't been able to destroy all of it yet, but they're trying. Yeah. No, so I do think that
I hope I make myself clear.
When you look at the destructors of our culture and our racial civilizational fabric, you have people that were Marxists. You have people that were different kinds of ideologically driven, like the Fabian Society or the Frankfurt School, different versions of the same kind of concept of creating the new man. And all of them shared one thing in common, which was they wanted, well, they share more than one thing in common, but we're going to keep it classy here. That was for Alex in the chat. One of the main thing they had in common was they wanted to destroy the link between family and community and heritage, because to create the ideal fake and gay modern utopia, they had to completely sever man from his nature and man from his traditions. And they did that by attacking the association between children, parents, and ancestors. Because this is why counterculture was pushed via music and movies in the 1900s, was to make all young people think their parents and their grandparents were stupid and lame and boring and old fogies, and that everything that their parents and grandparents liked was stupid. So that was one of the main attack vectors of how they broke that chain, how they severed that link to our heritage.
Well, I'm not that knowledgeable about that than you. That's for sure.
Well, but, that's my wheelhouse. That's what I've spent the last several thousand of my professional hours studying. So I know quite a bit.
Yeah, but there is something to it. There is definitely something to it. Mm-hmm. Although I still think that maybe it's me being naive. I'm still not sure about that. But I definitely see a difference between previous 2005, 2010. And after, because before 2005 we still had good entertainment, we still had actual care for the craft, you know what I mean? Still they took liberty with some IP. Maybe there was some art piece that was not the best and blah blah blah, but you could still feel the love, or at least they were trying to make something good. But sometimes you succeed, sometimes you fail. And after 2005, 2010, roughly this period, you could see the shift between the care for the craft and the care for money and agenda. Many times when I see, oh, this stuff was good, it was 2001, 2002, 86, blah, blah, blah. This film was trash.
And almost every time you see something that you recoil and say, "Oh, what is this filthy garbage?" It was made recently.
Yes. And still today, I actually feel that I'm more inclined to re-explore the old stuff than being interested in what's new. For example, nowadays I'm watching rewatching every single episode of Futurama, which was actually pretty good and pretty nice. And yes, the Futurama is not that recent. Let me check when it was made.
I think Futurama came out in the mid 90s and it ran until like 2001. I think.
Yeah, 99.
Yeah, and it was a good show. Like I watched, I think the first 4 seasons of it.
Yeah.
And I was surprised at just how good it was. I didn't watch it back when it came out. Like I knew it existed and I saw it sometimes. But I think between like 2008 and 2010, I downloaded a torrent of Futurama and I watched, I think, the first 4 seasons. And I
Yeah.
was surprised at how good the writing was and how clever the
Yes.
jokes were and how funny it was.
Oh yeah, the
Like,
the jokes, the punchline. Sometimes, so I think one of my favorite was Lila's. You know, the girl
mhm,
Cyclops is a bit
yeah.
angry, and Bender the robot say, "Lila, stop! Get back to the house and write on your blog that you were pissed."
Yeah. Go blog about it. Yeah.
Yeah, and also there was some actually tear-jerking moment, like there was some scene with Fry and his parents, or when you realize that Leela is not an alien but actually a mutant, that
Mhm.
his family left her for someone to adopt, and blah blah blah. Yeah, there was some actual very smart writing and very very subtle emotion, and yeah, it's very good writing. Very good writing.
So, since we're about at the half-hour mark here,
Yeah.
is before I start asking you my interview questions, is there anything else about the value of myth and fiction to culture that you would like to talk about?
Well, there is one thing, but I don't want to preach for my own church, but I know that most of the people that watch you are already aware of that, but still I'm hammering the point home. You have to support new artists, not necessarily me. What I mean by that is when you see something that is actually different. For example, say you are a big fan of Star Wars, so basically you like science fiction. Try to give another IP of science fiction a chance. Like, go check a new thing, a new universe, a new book, a new game, a new TV show, anything. Yes, don't stick with the thing that is going to be bad. And Star Wars is dead. If
Right.
you weren't aware already, yes, please let it die.
Yeah. Let it die and
So
find something new and better. Yeah.
yeah, go find new things, because every single popular thing will be kidnapped and tortured and butchered to
Yeah.
pieces.
Absolutely.
So go try something new for
Yeah.
you, and you will make the people who make this particular thing very happy.
Yeah.
And this is one of the last resort we have to save actual culture. And when I say actual culture, it's again um, a work of art, which means something that is made with emotion, passion, detail, skills, everything. Like the Powerpuff Girl, everything nice,
Yeah.
like with real emotion, with real love for the craft, dedication, investment. Will it be money, time, energy? Someone who find, for example, in my case, I spend a lot of time searching for the actual good artist, to make the visual of my books and everything like I envision them, so in a specific style and blah blah blah. So I spend a lot of time interviewing many artists. So yeah, go find something new, please.
Couldn't agree more. I think it's important to find real art out there that because like we've talked about, not just with you but on my channel several times, you don't have to make quote unquote right wing art for it to be good and to
Yeah.
oppose the evil being done to us. You just have to make real art, real stories, real fiction with real characters that tell the myths and the legends of our people. Like, just doing that is right wing in a way because it's true, it's based, it's real, it's
Mm.
for us by us. So I couldn't agree more with that.
And again, if I may, maybe I will be the one who talk an unpopular opinion, because I know that all of your audience is mostly right wing, but it's
Hmm.
not about right wing, left wing. It's art. There is
Yeah.
no actual wing to it. Well,
Yeah, and
maybe it's a bit
I
more
don't,
wide
and
because
Chris, I
it's.
need you to understand, I don't personally ascribe to being left wing or
Yeah, yeah,
right
yeah.
wing.
I know, I know, I
I
know. But maybe it's true that art is a bit more right because it values freedom, and freedom
and
is
truth.
more, yeah, it's more in the right sphere. But we don't care. It's art. It's not politic. We don't do activism. It's one of the things I say in my YouTube channel. I'm not an activist. I try to do
Right.
art. So I don't care if my story align with a thing that the left is agreeing upon or the right is agreeing upon. I'm trying to tell a nice story to make the universe I have in my head come to life. I don't care about the politics. Just enjoy the thing. That's it. Go
Yeah.
away. Go play. Go in your room.
All right. Well, I've been wanting to ask you some questions for a while, and since it ended up just being the two of us today, I have some interview questions I want to ask you. So for the second half of the stream, I'm going to ask you some things, and
Yeah.
hopefully it will lead to some good conversation and something interesting for the audience. I'm going to start with this one. As a full-time creator now in the current era, uh, what major challenges do you face as an author and as a creator of genuine mythological dark fantasy?
Well, honestly, the main one, the very big, the elephant in the room is money.
Hmm.
I know it's a bit of a redundant topic, and of course he talked about money, blah blah blah, but that's the truth. So
Okay.
just to give a bit of context, I have a handicapped person pension, so I get round about 1,400 euros per month.
Okay.
Again, since most of the people who listen to your podcast are in the US, yes, it's very small, but the money is not the same in Europe and the US. It's not the same. So if you want to have more a bigger and more correct picture, imagine I get around $2,000 a month, something like that. But yeah, it's not a big amount, but I pay for my apartment, blah blah blah, food, etc. And then when all my bills are paid, everything goes to the project. So round about 500, 600 every month for producing my art, producing the different goodies I made, to go to convention, to travel because it's not free, to have to go to the hotel or motel or something, everything. So the big problem is money. Also, since I have a handicap, so I have Asperger autism, and it's not easy to bite the bullet and force myself to socialize in a loud and sometimes unpleasant environment, but I have no choice. So, and if I weren't autistic, I know I will have more possibility and many more doors open to me
Hmm.
because I'm not the best at marketing and promoting myself. But yeah,
So that's
the end
another
of the
major challenge for you then is the
yeah,
social
that's
aspect of
the
it.
big one, the two big one. Yeah,
Okay, money and socializing. Okay.
yeah.
Well, let me ask you then before we move to the next question. Um, when it comes to realizing these two primary hurdles that you have to cross to be successful at what you do, when it comes to the money side of things, do you see any type of technology or any cultural or social change either helping or hurting that aspect of you struggling with money as a creator, or do you think that the difficulty with money is sort of a timeless thing for an artist?
Could you be a bit more specific? Because I'm not
Okay.
sure.
When you say that getting money is a primary impediment
Yeah.
or a primary problem, do you think that stems from anything in particular that you face in because of modern culture or modern problems, or do you
Oh
think
yeah,
this is
yeah.
just a problem of artists always have trouble getting money because it's difficult to get paid for art?
Well, it's both, but definitely not being aligned, with I stand with Ukraine or stop the genocide or making a rainbow flag on your profile picture. Yes, since I don't do that, it doesn't help. And sometimes I yap my mouth a bit more than I should. And I know that some publishing house shut the door on me because of that. Also, again, since I'm autistic, I sometimes the bridge between my mouth and my brain sometimes should be off, and but yeah, so it doesn't help. And again, I have well, today at least I know I have a bad reputation in the mainstream circle, And yes, again, it doesn't help. So it's a bit of both. But if I think I said it to you yesterday when we spoke a bit privately, if I was a black woman lesbian in a wheelchair, I
Yeah.
think I'm almost certain I will be published by a big house today.
You might have even been picked up to create a show for Amazon.
Yes, I think because it's not to rub my own ego, but every single time at a convention, I have at least 2 or 3 people saying, "Whoa, your booth is amazing! Look, the decoration, the art, the everything." Like again, it's not to say, "Oh, I'm number one, I'm the best," blah blah blah. But almost every single convention, I have the most impressive booth. I have the best art. I have the best cover of the book and stuff like that. Like the 100% art wise, I wrecked the competition. Honestly,
Nice.
I know I sound a bit like Trump. Oh, this is
Well,
the
no,
best, the very best. But
no,
but
that's
yeah,
good because that moves us into the second question that I had for you, and it will lead us to sharing pictures and stuff that you have prepared. Is what is the prize? What is the reward that you get from doing what you do? What keeps you going?
the satisfaction that I do my own thing with no sacrifice because of someone's stupid decision.
Okay. Do you also feel emboldened or empowered by the people that come to the conventions and cosplay as your characters and celebrate your creations? Is that good for you too?
Oh yeah. It's even though it's a business deal, so we both are interested in that particular transaction and collaboration. But yeah, it is rewarding, and I feel very proud. Like if like 10 years ago you would say, oh, you will write at least 6 or 7 books, and you will collaborate with a very talented cosplayer, will make like a one replica of your one of your big character. Like I don't believe you. So yeah. And again, if you were told me like I will attend 2 times at the Comic-Con or the biggest convention in Belgium with almost 100,000 people attending for all weekend, I would not have believed you. So already I have exceeded my own expectation because I'm a bit of a pessimistic. Well, not pessimistic, but I prefer to say the glass is a half empty.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
but yeah, again, also just basically like publish one book with amazing black and white art in it and a beautiful cover, and yeah, it's already a privilege that I achieved at least these few things that according to the perspective, your own perspective can be small or big, but I already done a few things, and that already is like if I would die this evening, I would say at least I did something. I tried my best. I did a
Hmm.
few things pretty nice. I have a few feedback of some reader that say I don't even finish. I didn't even finish your first book, but I come to buy all the other ones.
Well,
So
let's
uh,
look at some pictures of your booths and show some pictures of the cosplayers that you shared with me. I think the
oh
audience
yeah,
would really
yeah,
love that.
so yeah, you can share. I will find the one. So this one. So this one is is a booth I have. It was a small town in France, well, border between France and Belgium.
Hmm.
And this person in the front is a woman, by the way.
Can you maximize the picture so we can see it better?
Yeah. 1 second. What's again? Oh yes. Ah no, Instagram is doing it. Yeah, Instagram is
Oh,
shit.
well, you almost had it. Go back a little bit. It all there you go. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
So this is yes, this is a woman behind the beard and everything. By the way, and she did everything from scratch.
Oh,
So
she's really
everything.
good at cosplaying because that looks awesome.
Yeah. And after that, I will show another thing that she did very good. And yeah, this is what my booth basically looks like at every single convention. And yes, almost every time when someone come to my booth, they spend at least 1 or 2 minutes just checking, like, oh, all of that looks cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is what it looks like when I'm doing a convention.
Cool. Do you have other pictures of conventions and cosplayers that we can see?
Yeah. So yeah, again, sorry, Instagram is not the best. Yeah, this is another one.
Oh,
Again, a different event. And this is at the Comic Con, and she did another character.
oh wow! I love that one. Look at that.
Yeah.
That's
So
some amazing cosplay.
yeah, this is not an actual character in my book, but this is something we decide. This is more a own thing, but we decided, yeah, this one fits. It fits the team and everything, and this is a character that could be in my books. And so yeah, we have a deal, like she attend at the convention at my booth, so she attracts people and blah blah blah, and yeah, to grab the the people who pass by attention. So yeah, this is what it looks like, and every single time, yes, I have people coming and congratulating me on my well, what I present as my work. So my books, the visual, you know, like there is the big demon in the back that is also the profile picture.
Hmm.
Let's see another one. Yeah, this is another one. So this is the cover art of I don't know if you remember last year when I tried to do the art book. This would have been the cover of the art book.
Oh, okay, okay.
But unfortunately, this particular project failed. But yes, still. So yeah, this is what I do.
All right. Well, we'll go ahead and minimize that, and we'll go to my next question now for you, which is, what is the most valuable lesson or experience that you have had being a full-time writer these last several years?
Um, Trust firstly in yourself, then maybe the others.
Okay. Okay.
Because I have been disappointed by many people, and when you collaborate professionally with someone, you open up, and sometimes they backstab you,
Yeah.
and you have to be careful because if you give like the inside and the private information to a partner, you have to understand that you actually take a risk. Yes, of course, it's supposed to be profitable for you, profitable for them, but you never know. So take care about that. And another lesson I learned the hard way is, again, if you go against the current, against the mainstream, against the woke mind, virus, leftist, blah blah blah,
Hmm.
the frogs are gay stuff, you you will be beaten.
Yeah.
It's exactly like I think it's George Orwell who said that if you want a picture of the future, imagine a boat stomping
Yes.
on your neck forever, stuff like that. Yes,
Yeah.
this will happen to you.
Or if I was to paraphrase it in the modern day, I would say, if you want a picture of the future, imagine an enormous African ass squashing a white man's face forever.
Yeah, yeah. But I have another lesson that I learned, and if you can again share my screen, please.
Sure.
So this is what you wanted to showcase, at
Yes.
least partially. So this is the crowdfunding campaign I did. Well, it finished the 24th of May. Yes, it's in French. Baguette, baguette, oui, oui. But yeah, since the previous campaign failed, I said to myself, well, just step back a bit, focus on your French first, or at least the French fan base,
Hmm.
solidify it, and let's go from there. Because I think I was a bit too ambitious, and I did a few mistakes with the previous crowdfunding, and so this one get almost as much as money
Oh,
for
good.
very smaller objective. So the objective was 4,000 euros. I got
Wow.
6,000,
Yeah,
and
that's like right at 150%. That's
yeah,
great.
yeah, I'm pretty happy about it. Um, and so one of the other lesson, but you the problem with this lesson is you don't have you should not, let me rephrase it again, you should not focus on it. Is there will be people who will back you, there will be people who will see worth in what you do, there will be people who will help you and everything, but unfortunately sometimes it's just not enough.
Yeah.
So yes, you will not be alone, but it's like you got in a street fight. Yes, you have 50 people with you, but you are up against 2,000.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's better than nothing, but
Yeah.
so yeah, you should not dread in despair, but be prepared for hardship. But yeah, fortunately, at least there will be someone, at least one person somewhere, someday, somehow, who will find your thing and say, "Hey, that's nice." So yeah, capitalize on that, focus on that, but don't forget that yes, it's not because you found one fan or one member of your community or whatever that it will change your life. It's a beginning, sure, but you have much more to do.
Okay. Okay.
So
Good.
this success is very good. I'm very, very happy about it. I will never say otherwise. But yes, it's just another step. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes. And so, an answer to the question is I suppose the answer to the question is what's the lesson or the experience is to to focus on to focus on the followers you have and use the small successes to give yourself the passion and whatever it is monetarily you can get together to move to the next project instead of
Yeah,
trying to look at the entire timeline. You just focus on what's immediately in front of you and what you can achieve. Is that
yeah.
what you're
Yeah,
getting
yeah,
at?
it's a good way of paraphrasing it.
Okay.
This is also one thing I spend many hours in therapy with the autistic side of the therapy. So when I got
Hmm.
my diagnosis, I had a regular schedule and rendezvous with the a very special psychotherapist
Hmm.
his specialty was autism, and
Hmm.
we talked a lot about my dreams and ambition and blah blah blah. I don't remember. Maybe let me rephrase. Maybe you don't remember it, but I said something in the comment of your daily, no, weekly work videos.
Hmm.
Something akin, you didn't fail years. It's just that maybe you didn't reach the full size of your ambition. Do you remember
Yeah, I
something
remember
like?
that. I remember now
Yeah,
that you bring it up. Yeah, I remember that
yeah,
comment. Yeah.
and this is exactly one of the things I learned, and that I talked a lot with my therapist about it, is that every single time I was focusing on the mountain, or the next mountain that I had to reach. So I was like, I have to climb the Himalaya, man. And yeah, but yes, but like Bilbo said in The Hobbit, like a journey start with a single step, and focus on your step, focus on the first hill, then the first mountain, then the second one, blah blah blah. So maybe you will not reach your high dream of I don't know, your harem of women and 500 kilotons of cocaine, but maybe you can do something nice, even though you will not go megalomaniac. And this is something I try to achieve, to focus on that in the mindset. I mean, is maybe you will not reach the highest tippy top of your ambition, but at least you will achieve something. And the fastest way to achieve a big dream is to achieve small dream, and the fastest way to achieve small dream is step by step. So I did this little project that was financed, then I will
Hmm.
do a next one and blah blah blah. So yeah, it's baby step, baby step. I
Okay.
know it's a bit, you can view it as a bit pathetic maybe, but at least it's something. And this is again a link I have with the very first few thing we talk about, the importance of culture. Like,
Hmm.
oh, I was going to kill myself and I get the Batman game, blah blah blah. And this is a very common story that many people don't talk about it or are ashamed about it, but I know there is hundreds and thousands of stories about that I don't know, so someone found a music band or a guitarist and start to play music, and he said, "Oh man, when I saw the Kiss on live, it changed my life, man, and I was in a dark place and blah blah blah." There is so
Uh-huh,
many
yeah.
stories about that, and this is the same. So yeah, buy your guitar, learn the few strings and tricks, and start somewhere, and don't be too dazed and shocked and discouraged by the height of your ambition. Having ambition is a hell of a drive. In my
Yes.
personal opinion, you should have ambition, but don't be driven mad by it.
Well said. Well said. Now, speaking of things, speaking of advice, uh, my next to last question is this: what advice or wisdom would the Christopher of today tell a young Christopher? How would you mentor the younger version of yourself?
Every time that I have I've been asked a question like that, I have almost every time the same answer is fuck them all, man. Fuck them all. But joke aside, this is the actual truth, at least in a way, is that uh, I didn't finish. I think if I had to translate it in US term, I didn't finish high school, so I didn't get my diploma
Hmm.
of this school cycle. I
Okay.
stopped school. I was 17 years old. And this is not school who taught me who Aristotle was, or Nietzsche, or Descartes, or Plato, or anything. This is not them who taught me to speak English. This is not them who teach me how to write. Well, at least write, A, B, C, D, blah, 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 but not write in a
Hmm.
poetic way, not write. It, it teach me the very, very basic, and yeah, the end of it was hell for me, so I stopped high school to the protestation of many many people, and say, "Oh, this is the worst decision of your life, man." 20 years later, I should have done it earlier. But it's not a path that is suitable for everyone, that I know. But yeah, pursue your dreams, but again, be prepared to fight for them, because being ambitious, being a big dream person, has a price, and be prepared to pay it. Be prepared for hardship. Be prepared to having issues, being sabotaged, being betrayed. Um, be prepared to put the money where your mouth is. Yeah, be conscious about, the saying, be careful what you wish for.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is it.
Definitely.
This is
Okay.
it.
Okay.
But definitely pursue your dreams, but be responsible with them, and don't be too cocky about, I want to be a talented, I don't know, painter. You know that most of the painter, the most famous painter in the world, was all dead poor.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
that.
They were poor, and oftentimes they weren't even famous until after they were dead.
Yes, I think even my favorite one, which is Van Gogh. I think he paid to a tavern or a bar with his painting. Like,
Yeah.
oh, give me 2 beer for one painting. It was something like that. I'm not sure, but I think it was.
All right. Well, that brings me to the last question I have for you today, which is there anything that you would like to say to inspire others out there who also want to be writers and creators like you? What would you
Well,
have to say to them?
it's funny because I was prepared to say something akin to what Destruction R Studio said in the chat. Suffering is how you get great art, and it's definitely true. Even though you should not fantasize and romanticize suffering, and oh, I'm a goth emo chick, I have suffering in my life, blah blah. No, you should not do that. But hardship is part of the process, which is a word I repeated many times in this particular stream. And yes, life experience is how you know who you are, and this is how you make art, because art is the imitation of life, and life will never be as great as art. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a bit abstract, but life nourishes art, and art nourishes life. It's a weird process, but I know that every single artist who listen to me would at least a tiny bit agree with me. And the one who are not artists will say, "What the fuck is he blabbering about?"
Well,
but
perhaps I'm
yeah,
an artist because I get it.
yeah, and you you should definitely pursue your dreams, and definitely how to say that, brute force through it, because sometimes this is the only thing that works. But yeah, don't as Nietzsche said, don't gaze too much into the abyss, because sometimes the abyss gaze back, and this is how you have horror
Hmm.
stories of a crazy artist or a crazy person that just went a tad too far in the process and go batshit insane. And sometimes, unfortunately, the cliche of the crazy artist like Van Gogh who cut off his ear, this is true. This is artists always thread a razor edge between madness and genius, and
Yeah.
this is where you have an actual art piece. And when you finish, you go away with on that particular line. But yes, you should be careful in your work process. Like, there is a thing that many artists use, a saying about, the zone, like you are in the zone when you are definitely inspired, productive, sharp-minded, quick-witted, you find your idea and everything. But this is when you find this particular very special razor edge, but it is so rare, and you don't have to chase it at every single cost possible. Like, there is a price that is definitely too high to pay, so don't push yourself too hard over the edge. Be careful about that, because I know many artists who sometimes don't have the success they hope, or they have, for example, the black page anguish. I don't know if I said correctly, but in French this is how we say it.
Hmm.
So yeah, don't dwell too much on your art, even if it's not perfect. There is a time that you, yes, drop the pen, drop the paintbrush, stop. You did enough. You did enough. Stop it. Take a bit care of yourself, man. So this is my advice for artists who are actually in the process of working on their art and trying to succeed and make themselves known, piece the glass ceiling and everything. uh, there is a moment where you did a bit too much. And for me, for example, with this Kickstarter and the booth picture I showed, uh, I was almost at my limit, because I did 6 convention back to back. So every weekend I was on convention. Every Wednesday I had my weekly YouTube video. I did also a live stream to talk about the convention, talk about the crowdfunding campaign and everything. And at the end of the last convention, I went back home. I dropped dead on the bed, and I was so tired, so exhausted, I didn't even sleep.
Oh,
And
wow.
and again, only the artist or the one who pushed themselves too hard know what I mean by that. Like, I
Yeah.
was watching the ceiling, like I was not dead, but in a very special state of consciousness. And
A very special kind of exhausted.
yeah, and it's just now, like 2 weeks after the last convention and the end of my Kickstarter, that I'm getting back to life.
Good.
Yeah, so there is sometimes, yeah, even though I understand people who will say, yeah, I will die for my art and everything. Yes, this is very noble, but are you sure you want to die for that? So, yes, I can understand and respect that, but would be better if you live.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is a thing that is not well talked about in the art sphere. Sometimes you just push too far, and I know every single artist want to succeed, but sometimes, yeah, just take a break. Just take a break.
Well, that was great. Thank you for answering all my questions, and I
Yeah,
hope that that
I hope
anyone
I
listening
was
to
not too much abstract, and I make myself at least a tiny bit clear.
no, I think you did fine. I hope that you've inspired and helped anyone listening to this who is considering doing art or pursuing any kind of passion. Now, at the end of my one-on-one interviews, my last question is always not a question for my guest, but I give them the option. Is there anything that you would like to ask me while you're here?
Oh yes, definitely. What particular thing make you click with the art or the universe I created? Like, why did you like almost instantly you saw what I do, the cover of my book, you read a bit of
It
a few
was
pages translated, and you say, oh yeah, okay, good, please
it was
be friends.
it was because of the art that was on the covers of your books and the artwork that was on and the artwork that you shared with me that you used for the Kickstarter the Kickstarter before the last one. When I saw the artwork, like I went, several of my viewers know this. I went into art first. When I was a teenager, I went to different classes to learn how to do comic book art, to learn how to do watercolor painting, to learn how to do landscapes. Then I went to art school for 3 years. I learned about sculpting and painting and figure drawing, and I painted and drew thousands of things in the 90s and early aughts. I loved artwork of all kinds, and I enjoy genuine expression of visual art, colors, sketches, and I especially like things that embody the boldest ideas and the greatest fears of humanity, like demons and dragons and hellscapes and different people's interpretations of heaven and angels and shit
Yeah,
like that.
that's why you like
And
Dungeons and Dragons so much.
yes, and when I saw the artwork for your books and the artwork that you showed me and that you selected for different promotional material, I could tell immediately that the artwork had direction and purpose, and the man behind the art employed quality artists to bring his vision to life visually. And that really got me hooked into your universe, because I knew that because of the visuals and the art background that I have, that the art wasn't just meaningless. It had purpose. It was shaped meticulously to tell a story and to evoke particular emotions. And that really grabbed me about your work.
Well, thank you. That is very flattering.
Well, you've made
Seriously.
good choices. Like the artists that you hire and the direction that you give them to make the artwork for your setting is wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful, and that's
Well,
that's what
thank
got
you.
me hooked
It's
on you
funny
as a
because
creator.
that's what I said like earlier. About collaboration. Sometimes it clicks, sometimes it doesn't. And
Hmm.
for the artist, yeah, I know it's not the correct word, but in French we say dessinateur, which if you have to translate it, word by word, would be drawer in English. But drawer is like the
Right.
the the, the, the thing that you put your songs in. So it's not the
Yeah.
same, but the visual artist. Yes, I interview like maybe 100 of them before making my choice.
Oh, wow. Well,
It was
it definitely shows. It
yeah,
definitely shows.
and it was not about money. It was about are you capable of doing this in for example, a dragon or a demon or a knight in a specific art style, or some dynamic position. Do you do details on the helmet or the swords, or like you're more into the expression of the face, the eyes between the slits?
Hmm.
There is so many things that can go in a fantasy art piece. And yeah, I knew what I wanted, and it was no other way, non-negotiable. And it was not about money, it was about the skills of the guy. And also, again, if on the human side of thing the collaboration was okay, because uh,
Yeah.
you cannot commission something, at least long-term partnership, without being a nice human interaction. It's not possible.
Well said. Well said. Well, we're going to end the stream there.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on and sharing all of that with me and humoring my questions. I hope that the listeners get something positive out of all of this and take the positive steps in your life to pursue your passions and do the things that matter. So, Christopher, thank you. And I'm sure that we will stream again another day, my friend. And
Thank you for inviting me again.
well,
And
you're welcome. And
again,
I wish you the best of success in all that you do, because I love your universe. I like
thank
you
you.
as a person, and I hope that you have even better success next time.
Yeah, and just to finish again, people, try new things. Yes, please mourn what you loved in the past. It will be desecrated. Give new thing a chance. This is your only chance for yourself for entertainment, but also for culture itself. It's imperative.
Indeed. Well said. Well, I hope you guys all have a wonderful week. And as a quick reminder, next week I'm taking the week off. So none of my regularly scheduled shows will happen next week because I have the big annual OGC meetup this weekend, and I won't be back until Tuesday next week. And I'm going to take a few days off to rest. So I hope you all have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you soon. Take care, everybody.
Bye bye.
Bye.